Warning, this is a review for a Rarity 10 horn. If you don't think a horn is endgame viable unless it's Rarity 11 or 12, please slap yourself, sit down, and enjoy this review.
So this one is going to be a nice surprise for you guys. I know there's been some different recommendations thrown out there, but this one needed to be done ASAP. Let's take a look at the stats and songs for the Laguna drum. Right off the jump, we have an attack of 1008, which is definitely low, about as low as it gets. Next, we move on to the sharpness, where we get a nice chunk of white from the get-go, and we actually hit purple sharpness with just 2 levels of handicraft. Affinity starts at neutral with 0% at base. Next, we have an absolutely delicious amount of water element at 540. And to top it off on a very positive note, we have a level 2 slot and a level 1 slot to help us put together a solid build. Taking a look at the song set, we start off with everyone's favorite booster, Attack Up L. There's a lot of utility injected as well with things like Muck Water Snow Resist, Environment Damage Negated to help stave off any annoying damage over time, and then Earplugs S for the times you hunt the weaker monsters and want to get in some free shots. Speed Boost and Evade Window is there to give you some extra mobility and iframes. And then finally we have trusty ol' Impact Echo Wave. The set I used for the gameplay brought out the best of the high water element, which is the strongest thing on this weapon. We have the 4 set of Silver Rathalos for that true crit element, and to finish it up, we of course have the best in slot Garuga legs. I broke out the old Flood charm to immediately ramp up that water element and finished it out with the single stream decoration. After that, my priority was to get crit boost, weakness exploit, and crit eye maxed out. Next, I wanted to get a couple of handicraft in there to reach that purple sharpness. Horn Maestro level 2 is always a staple for me, but if you feel comfortable enough re-upping your songs, you could go with level 1 to give yourself some more room to build. I slotted in a Sharp Jewel just because there's such a tiny sliver of purple sharpness, so I used that to get much more use out of it. Everything else is pretty much the best available combos I had for level 4 decorations. The downside of this is that there's only 1 level of health boost, and admittedly, even for myself, I'm hesitant to run sets without some good health boost. I'm going to state this clearly from the start before I ramble. This thing can absolutely wreck monsters with a 3-star weakness to water. You add the fact that it still even has Attack Up L in its song set, and it really can and should be your go-to when you're fighting a monster with a 3-star weakness to water. I tested this out against such monsters, and it was just absolute bully ball. Flinching from damage was a constant, and God forbid they get caught in that spin, because it was basically guaranteed wreckage. It didn't matter if it was a beginning monster or an endgame monster. But the fun doesn't have to stop there because we have ourselves a Rarity 10 weapon with a design that is not unique. What does that mean? We get to substantially increase the power of this horn through much easier and frequent augments along with custom mods to take that even further. In these gameplays, I only had a health augment on here. No attack up meal, demon items, or anything. But I absolutely can't wait to collect the goods I need to augment it and jack the damage on this to very high levels. Let's take a listen to the soundtrack. Your pretty standard tribal drum track which fits narratively. Not too much to say, pretty middle of the road. I think it was definitely a good choice though. Should you craft the Laguna drum? 100%. This is going to be an absolute unmatched force against monsters with a 3-star weakness to water. I want to be clear that I'm not saying this is going to be a horn that you use all the time for general use, but definitely against those 3-star monsters. With this horn, you have the nice speed boost with some utility songs sprinkled in that can help alleviate annoyances. Toss in the beauty of that Attack Up L, and you have a Blastoise cannon of a horn to use. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I want to be clear again that this should be your go-to for the 3-star water weakness monsters to do some absolute silly damage. It's nice to have some variety in horn selection, especially ones that may have been tucked away in obscurity. If you liked the video, please do let me know with a thumbs up. Comment below what horn you think I should review next, and what you think of the Laguna drum. Subscribe if you haven't already for more Iceborne and hunting horn content. Have a good night, and happy hunting.